As Bannerlord has been out for about a week now, everyone has been playing this game. It's been like the third most played game on Steam every single day. It's absolutely insane, and this means that everyone is discovering new things all the time, different mechanics and different ways to play. But there are some things that are less obvious than others. And these are the things that I'm going to be showing you today, whether they're hidden mechanics or little just things you can do, or completely useless, nice little details that Turtles have put in. This is 20 things you didn't know about Mount & Blade 2, Bannerlord. When you're in the battlefield, maybe you want to drop an item that you have in your inventory. Of course, everyone knows pressing G drops that item. That was a thing that was in Warband as well. But what if you want to drop some item that you don't have in your hand? Maybe you want to drop your shield. Well, in Warband, you'd have to put your sword away, then you'd have to get your shield out on its own, then you'd have to press G to drop it. But now you can hold G and you'll bring up a selection menu. Through this selection menu, you can decide what you want to drop, whether it's your shield, your sword, your bow, your arrows, anything that you have equipped to your character can be dropped by holding G and then selecting the item. Maybe you're on the battlefield and you want to just slow down a little bit. Pressing caps lock will make you walk. I don't really see many uses for this other than staying with your men on sieges, because they tend to walk there and the AI tends to make them walk sometimes when they're following battering rams, or if you just want to get some cool sexy shots of you just walking around the battlefield. Pressing Alt will bring up a lot of information that you can see in different places. If you're in a town or city, it will bring up different locations where you can find thugs to beat, different shops or different people you can buy caravans of. If you do it in the battlefield, you can see the enemy's troops and where their units are. For example, I can see where the horse archers are or where the infantry are. You can also see this with your own men. Also in the battlefield, holding Alt will bring up things that are interactable, like picking up arrows, weapons off the floor, or in towns and cities, chairs and things will be highlighted by holding Alt. If you go into multiplayer and hold Alt, you'll be able to see the banners on the map. I know this has been an issue sometimes, people don't know where the banners are to capture or defend, but holding left Alt will sort this for you. When you go into any town or city, any horses that you can see can be mounted. You can hop on them and run around. This is often helpful if you're trying to get to one place, maybe a shop or something, and you can't be bothered to walk. Furthermore, much like Warband, you still can't get upstairs on horses unless you reverse them. Oh, Mount & Blade, never change. A lot of the time when you're going through villages and towns, you'll see the farm animals walking around. These farm animals are indicated to what they can sell in the trading, such as sheep, boar, horses, geese and chickens. This is a pretty useless fact, but these animals can in fact be killed. It doesn't do anything, but it gives you a nice pastime if you want to get your sword a bit bloody and annoy the locals. Fortunately, this isn't Skyrim, so they won't hate you for killing their chickens. When on the battlefield with a bow equipped, you can hold left click to fire it, of course, but maybe you want to be a bit more efficient and quicker with this. Holding right click raises your bow into the steady position. Of course, you cannot fire from this, so when you want to fire, hold left click again, but if you've already readied your bow with right click initially, it will take a shorter time for the animation to go and you'll be able to fire your arrows off a bit quicker. You can see that the AI already do this when they want to get ready to fire, but they're not quite in range. When going up ladders or siege towers, you can actually attack or block. With a bow you can fire your arrows, but remember, you have a very limited angle where you can shoot from. But using your shield to block is often very useful for when you're going up those ladders, but remember, you can only really block just in front of you, so unless they're in front of you, you're still going to get hit. If you want another tip, make sure you scroll wheel backwards. If they're behind you, you'll put your shield on your back and their arrows will do less damage. It will still hurt you, but it won't do as much damage as if you didn't have your shield on your back. When on a horse, double tap W to run faster. If you're in a stationary position, your guy will hit the flanks of his horse and tell it to speed up. It will make your horse accelerate faster than if you were just to hold W normally. So remember, double tap it. The same can be done if you want to stop quickly. Instead of holding S to slow down gradually, double tap S and your horse will come to a skidding stop. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can drift around corners, you can spray up the sand as you do it, and that's how you instantly stop on your horse. More controls with your horse. If you look directly down at your horse and press A or D to move left or right, while pressing E at the same time, your horse will strafe to the side. It looks a bit ridiculous, but it looks pretty fancy. I mean, as you can see, arrows and things pelting past, people dying around me, but my horse don't care. He'd be doing Michael Jackson moves. Furthermore, pressing Z on a horse will dismount from the horse. Everyone knows that you can look down at it and press F, but if you want a quicker way of dismounting without having to look down at your horse, press Z. We all know that this is also the crouching when you're on foot. Standing still with a horse, make sure you press spacebar if you want to look goddamn cool. This will rear the horse up the same way that Control J used to do it in Mount & Blade Warband. There's no real use to it, except from in this bit where you can see I'm rearing up my horse and he seems to be blocking every single arrow and javelin that comes my way. If you're wandering around Calradia and you're running low on food, everyone knows that you can stop by and pick up some grain, butter, that sort of thing. You don't want to slow down your party speed, make sure you pick up the livestock like animals, sheep, hogs, chickens, and everything like that. That will not slow down your speed. But the more interesting point is, maybe you're stuck away from towns and cities and you don't have any of this food on you, or you don't have any money left to buy food. Well, a lot of people will have spare horses in their inventory, because this makes them move faster anyway. If you click on the horse or camel, you'll see a slaughter button. Every horse or camel in the game can be slaughtered for food, but remember, this can't be undone, so make sure you're not killing your ponies unless it's a last-ditch attempt to stay alive. When you're on the battlefield, if you press T, you can see the combat log. This is useful to just scrolling up and down it to see how much damage has been dealt, how much damage has been done throughout the battle, so you can see the history of the log by pressing T in your game. If you go into a caravan battle and they beat you, like most battles, they will capture you. Now, unlike most people, if you're captured by a caravan, they will go to the nearest city and pop you in a dungeon, which makes it very hard to get away. So remember, caravans may not be the trickiest to take on, but they do have dire consequences if you fail. When you're ordering your troops, everyone knows that you can hold position and things, and flags will come up to where the troops hold their position, etc. But not many people know if you use your left mouse button, you can actually drag how far or where they hold position. Maybe you want to stretch your guys out further or put your guys in a tighter formation. Using left click, you can do this just to drag them out to wherever you want to do. A bit like Total War. Pretty cool. When you go into a city and you decide to join the tournament, you might notice that there's some people you recognize. Sometimes you'll find companions that are in your party will decide to hop in the tournament as well, and you'll have to fight against them if they get up to the higher stages. Furthermore, you might notice that not only your companions, but some other troops just in your army will join. I was in an Azerite town where you normally be fighting Azerite troops, but I was fighting against my Imperial Bisolari that I had in my party just for the hell of it. It's a nice touch. If you're fed up of the heavy armor weighing you down, if you're fed up of looking too badass, you know what you can do? You can put on women's clothing. It frees you up, it lets the air get to bits that the air could never get to before, and it looks goddamn cool. So, if you need to, that's something that you can get your hands on in Mount & Blade 2, Bannerlord. And finally, the last thing you probably didn't know, that hitting Control F5 in a battle will make your character AI controlled. There is almost no use for this because they do nothing, literally they'll stand still unless they get attacked, then they'll do something. But it's pretty cool if you go into an arena, make them AI controlled, and the last enemy is killed, they will also cheer and revel up the crowd like all the other AI do at the end of an arena fight. But that's pretty much it. That's the top 20 things you probably didn't know about Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. Maybe you knew some of them, maybe you didn't know any of them. Make sure you leave your comments down below if there's anything else that you found that I did not mention in this video. But join my giveaway, it's only got a couple more days on it, or if you just want to buy Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord at the lowest possible price, click my link to go to Games Planet, use the code LORD5 and you'll get 22% off or 25% off if you've already purchased Mount & Blade Warband from Games Planet. They're a great site, they're completely legit, you'll get a Steam key from it, it supports me, it supports Games Planet, and it supports Tailworlds as well. But thanks so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, subscribe. But until then, I will see you in the next one.